Hi, it's Mark from Top Local. We're here with Bernie Pawlik, Pawlik Automotive in Vancouver, Vancouver's best auto service experience, 18-time winners. Best auto repair in Vancouver as voted by their customers. How are you doing, Bernie?
I'm doing very well.
So we're going to talk about an Acura MDX 2005. There was something going on with the timing belt. What was happening with this vehicle?
Yeah, so this vehicle came into our shop. It had a rather loud engine noise, a very, very loud engine noise, which we determined to be coming from the timing belt area of the engine.
And what did you discover?
Well, we discovered that the timing belt tensioner, it's a hydraulic unit that basically an oil-filled hydraulic unit that keeps the timing belt tension tight. This unit had failed, causing the timing belt to just flap around. It's a good thing the owner didn't drive it too long, because if the unit actually, if it were to go too long, the timing belt would actually jump teeth, strip, cause engine damage. So this is what we found. I'll just go straight into some picture sharing right now. We can have a look at some stuff. So here is the, well, first of all, yeah. So here's a view that with the timing belt cover off. There's the timing belt here, and there's the tensioner pulley, which is basically a very large bearing and a pulley, and that's the tensioner unit. This is the piece that failed. There's a little shaft in here, and there, again, as mentioned, there's oil pressure. It's a sealed unit, but there's oil pressure and springs inside, and what happens is it keeps a good solid tension on the timing belt, and this unit had failed. So we could actually, if you grab this timing belt, you could actually flop this thing back and forth. That was happening. Of course, when the engine's running, it's going at high speed. There's a lot of opposing forces, so it causes this thing to flap back and forth, causing one hell of a racket. Fortunately, there's enough tolerance built in where the belt doesn't skip any teeth immediately, but it can certainly happen pretty quick. Here's a view of our car, and going on to the actual tensioner. So here's the unit here, side view unit. There's the so we call it the grenade pin. I'll explain that in a second. And here's a sort of front view. Again, there's that plunger piston at the top view. Now the reason they have this pin here is because this unit is actually kept under tension, and when after you install the unit, you've got the timing belt all lined up. Then you pull a pin out, and then that pops the tension in place. You can also collapse this unit in a vise, but we always replace this part, always, just because they can fail without warning. So back to the show.
So the tension adjuster isn't always replaced with the timing belt, or is it?
Well, if you actually look in a repair manual at the procedures, they suggest you don't have to. We always do. And this actual belt had been replaced at a shop recently. We actually repaired it for another shop. It was kind of an emergency repair, but they said it had been replaced. I'm not certain if it had been or not. It's hard to tell the age of parts sometimes when they sit inside covers. But he said that they had a complete kit and replaced it. But it's possible they may not have. But I learned a long time ago. I had a vehicle. It's a Hyundai actually. It said, you don't need to replace the tensioner. So of course, trying to keep the customer's cost down. Followed the procedure, locked it back in. You can clamp the tensioner down in a vise, put a pin back in, put it in. A day later, there's a horrible noise coming from the engine. The tensioner had failed. So we've just learned that there's just for the cost of the part, it's not worth the risk for us and for the customer. So so that's yeah. So it can be done without it. And if you look through a repair manual, often it'll say, oh, as long as it holds this tension, it's fine. But again, it's a part that can just fail without warning. So that's why we replace it.
So is it fairly common for this part to fail, would you say, or is it not?
Not that often. They don't fail very often, but they do from time to time. We had another vehicle a while back. It was a Mitsubishi of some sort, where again that piece had failed and caused again the same kind of horrible noise. So they do from time to time. They do, but not really common.
And this is something that's in all timing chain or timing belt vehicles?
No, not all timing belt vehicles. Well, anything newer, and I say newer meaning if we go back to maybe the mid to late 90s, they started using them a lot more frequently, but not all vehicles, even into the 2000s, used them there. It really depends on the vehicle, but it is pretty common. Yeah, not every vehicle, but most.
So there you go. And how are Acura MDXs for reliability?
Yeah, really good car. You know, the older ones do have timing belts, so that's a maintenance item that one needs to deal with. But I mean, other than that, it's a really solid vehicle. You know, good for 200,000 to 300,000 kilometers quite easily without a lot of expense, and certainly always a nice vehicle to drive. So it's a Honda product. You know, generally good.
So there you go. If you're looking for maintenance on your Acura in Vancouver, the guys to see are Pawlik Automotive. You can reach them at 604-327-7112 to book your appointment. They're busy. Or check out their website, pawlikautomotive.com, or our YouTube channel. Just search for Pawlik Automotive Repair. Thanks, Bernie.
Thank you, Mark.